Good morning, church. We're going to do an informal check-in before we get started because we had some problems with our online community and the streaming, but all of that is now worked out perfectly. Edie, would you like to start us with sounding the chime? And if you would read the words for the chalice lighting.
Yes, I will. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the Church of the Open Mind. This is the Church of the Helping Hands. This is the Church of the Loving Heart. Together, we care for the Church and each other.
Thank you. Edie's going to have a more official welcome for us in just one moment, but I wanted to start with some little bits and pieces of information. For starters, my name is Mitra Jafarzadeh. I'm the minister here. I've been away for 2 weeks in Transylvania, and I love it there, and I hate leaving. It's always very sad to leave, and somehow it's always very joyful to come home. So I am very glad to be here with you. And big, giant thanks to everyone who helped with services while I was gone. I know that Mike Nugent, who I believe is joining us online, and Arcus Dow and others really helped to keep the church life going. I really appreciate all of that. My sister, Tatiana, and her husband, Brian, are sitting in the second row. Make them welcome. Did anybody find egg crates, egg cartons on your thing there? Okay. There's a reason for that. Let me tell you what the reason is. We have, years ago, we used to do this thing with the children where they got to get their hands into dirt and into mud and into seeds, and they made these little seed bombs, little pockets of fertilizer and earth and wildflower seeds, and you would throw them places, and they explode, and they make joy happen, and they make beauty happen. And every Sunday we would do this. I would be in here with the adults, and part of me would be so envious of the children who got to go get muddy and dirty and have fun. So now we're doing it as an all ages thing, right? We'll have like a little bit of a foreshortened sermon, and then we'll go outside where they've got us set up to make seed bombs outside. There are plenty of these crates. You can take one and fill it up with your own seed bombs. Yes? Spring has only begun to spring forth. I don't know if that makes any sense, but you know what I mean. Other things, Claire Wagner is going to play the part of Aaron Zoller, but you don't have Aaron's rainbow sequined hat. Okay. We have some news about the auction, which after a 2-year absence is returning in a new and interesting form.
Hi, everybody. I hope that you know through the e-news and other notices on our website and our Facebook community page that May 7th is our next auction. It used to be our primary fundraiser, and then, COVID. So we need things, we need people, we need offerings. Erin asks me to remind you that the submission deadline was today for auction offerings, but she'll extend it to tomorrow, and that doesn't mean if you're not sure till later in the week, you can't still give, but if she gets it by tomorrow, she can put it in an auction catalog that goes online, and that helps build some excitement for everybody. auction@stjohnsuu.org is the email. If you go to our website, there's a news item with tons of information and extra links and forms. There are still dozens of just 1-hour commitments for volunteering on that day. And I think she's got one more day before that to help set things up. We'd love it. Even if you just want to, take down chairs and tables, sign up for the end, okay? It's in the afternoon this time from 1 to 5 on the 7th. And there's a Sign Up Genius form linked from the article that I mentioned. And it is also helpful if you pre-register. Just go again to the website, click on pre-register, and she's got your names. You don't have to put any money in, but it saves you $2 each at the door. I hope you're excited. I hope to see you there. Thanks.
Before I ran off to Romania, I said to Rob we should offer something fun from the music director and the minister, and we agreed that we would, and then we never did, and I left town. By the way, I left town partly so I would not have to preach the Easter sermon, and I ended up preaching doing a blessing at a confirmation, and then preaching Maundy Thursday. And yes, I did email a Baptist and say, what is Maundy Thursday? Tell me, quick. I did a part of the service introducing communion and serving at table for Easter Sunday, so it was kind of fun. So Rob and I still have to come up with something fabulous to offer for the auction. You'll just have to live with the mystery of what that is until the auction comes near. Rob, do you have some things to say about music today?
Hello, church. So, a couple things about the music today. It's going to be fabulous, right? Without doubt. But there's going to be, this is what happens when a guy who doesn't know what all the hymns are goes through the hymns and goes, let's sing this. And then I throw it at the choir this morning and they go, we've never heard this one before. So, hymn 1005, be prepared for that, but we're all going to get through it together. It's a lovely little piece. And then at the end, just to make sure we're not confused, the choir is going to sing number 207, Earth Was Given as a Garden, which you will recognize the tune because it is the same tune to Blue Boat Home, just not as lively as Blue Boat Home. So this is what's going to happen. The choir is going to be up here. We're all going to sing. Well, the choir is going to sing number 207, Earth Was Given as a Garden. Earth was given as a... It's going to be lovely. And then Peng Chang is going to make a little key change, and he'll play some notes. But I need you all to be prepared with Blue Boat Home, which is 1064 in here. Like prepared to the point where it will be open while the choir is singing 207. You will have it open. Promise me. Okay? Because Peng Chang will play, and then I will turn, and at some point in time, you will all know that I will go like this, and then we will all begin singing Blue Boat Home together. Understood? Fantastic. It'll be fantastic. All right, I'm excited about the music today. Thank you. And every day.
Welcome, everyone. I also have been gone for the last 2.5 weeks because I was with her at least part of the time. We went to Romania. I have family, a son, daughter-in-law, and granddaughter, 3.5-year-old granddaughter, in Cluj-Napoca, which is where the seminary and the offices for the Unitarians in Transylvania is. And then I spent some time in our partner church in Nard St. Laszlo with the minister, Silamer, and I went to church on Sunday, and I sang. They let me sing. And I sang the Seke Aldash that we've sung in church. And I started with the English just because, for me, that just starts better without accompaniment or anything else. And they were like just listening respectfully. And then I started saying Hold Heat, Hold Seretet, and they go, oh, I know what she's doing. It was fun. But anyhow, welcome to everybody. Welcome to everyone that's online. Welcome to everybody that's here in the church. The church looks lovely with all the people. I missed you all. And what else am I supposed to say about welcoming? Oh, I do have something else to say. We are celebrating Earth Day. Anthony was asking me actually which day it was. I go, I don't know. It's approximately today because I'm still jet lagged. I don't know what time zone I'm in. So let's say you were from somewhere else seeing this Earth from space for the first time. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be satisfied with that view. I'd want to get closer. walk around on it, even get down on my hands and knees. That's how I prefer to see the earth. Wendell Berry. So I was out in the village, and there were lots of flowers, and they were beginning to plow the fields. The grapevines hadn't yet started budding, but there were grapevines in everybody's yard, and lots of chickens. And chickens crow, the roosters crow anytime they want to. And my final word about Earth Day, if the heat bothers you, plant a tree. If the water bothers you, plant a tree. If you like fruits, plant a tree. If you like birds, plant a tree. If you like life, plant many trees. And my next job. I'd like to introduce hymn number 203, All Creatures of the Earth and Sky. Now, please join me in the affirmation, words by William F. Schultz. This is the mission of our faith, to teach the fragile art of hospitality, to revere both the critical mind and the generous heart, to prove that diversity need not mean divisiveness, and to witness to all that we must hold the whole world in our hands. And because we're singing a lot of music today, the next one is 1005, which is in the Teal hymnal, and this is new to everyone as of this morning. But we're going to do it. It's a fun song.
Please rise.
Two small, tiny reminders. One, I forgot to tell you that the Silamer, the minister at our partner church, sent us lots of boxes of tea so that one day we will be able to have tea symbolically with our partners in St. Laszlo. Not today because we're going outside, but just look for a chance to break bread and share a cup of tea with our friends in Romania. And secondly, whoever you are, wherever you are on your life's path and journey, you are absolutely welcome here today. This is a place where we travel together, where we learn and grow together, where we build community, and do our very best to love the world. I traveled all over Transylvania with a button that Nancy Johnson gave me that said, "Be the church you want to see in the world," and had to read it to several people, and they were like, "Oh, yes, that's good." So at St. John's, we are the people who endeavor to be the church we want to see in the world. Mike Johnson has a word about pledging, but also, Mike, where are you? Come on up. While Mike is coming up, I'm going to point this out. Mike does woodworking. You can ooh and ah over this. Isn't that ridiculous? For those of you who were part of the Christmas that first year of COVID when we were just trying to get it together and you got a little meditative object from the nativity scene, Mike is the one who made all those, and he has this and some other beautiful objects that will be in the auction on... Yes, thank you.
Good morning, I am Mike Johnson, and I'll be talking from two perspectives. First one is as a congregant, that guy's okay. Second is as the board's finance director. Yeah, we'll see. When I was asked this week to say a few words in the pledge moment, I agreed, but the more I thought about it this week, the more uneasy I became. I've always felt a little angst about religion and money. I think it stems from when I was a teenager. My father had been injured, and there were some very, very lean years in our household. Although we attended the Catholic Church every week, my parents were not in a position to contribute very much. One year, someone, I'm going to assume it's the finance director, had a great idea. Let's publish everybody's name and how much they contributed the year before. It may have been thought as a good idea to raise funds, but for me, it was quite hurtful. I have to say it stung. It wasn't a sting for me, it was a sting for my parents. They were good people, they were struggling. The place that you would think would be a place to get solace and comfort was now shaming them for being poor. Because of that, I'm not the best at the hard sell. Although I don't know the individual circumstances of the people here or online, I know that there are people here who are able to give amply, and there are those who may not be able to give anything at all. What my faith tells me, and the UU First Principle affirms, is that all people have an inherent worth and dignity. Those that are in a position to give large sums, and those whose current circumstances can't give it all, are all welcome at St. John's. I think St. John's and the UU faith is important to support. It is a community where caring and kindness take a precedence over dogma. It's a place where experiences in the lens that we view life through is encouraged. Because of this, I believe that a place like St. John's is worth keeping vibrant, and it's why I pledge money every year to keep it so. And I hope that you will do the same. Now I'm going to put on my other hat. It's the finance director's hat. As the finance director, I'm responsible for working with Reverend Mitra and the board to come up with a balanced budget. Frankly, my timing is pretty poor. This is a difficult year. We are going to face a deficit. During last year's budget meeting, I was told of the St. John's miracle. Where that came from is for a number of years, the approved budget would show a deficit, and ultimately we would come up with a surplus. It was kind of our loaves and fishes story. Now, I don't want to debunk miracles, but for those that believe in unicorns or geese that lay golden eggs, you might want to tune me out for a few minutes. I gathered data to find out about this miracle and took a look at 10 years worth of finances. Claire, do you want to? I won't bore you with a bunch of slides, but I have one. From the big screen here, you can see that where the situation has come, where the miracle was. In 2012, we had income of $299,000 and expenses of $259,000. So we had a $40,000 surplus. This year, we're projecting income of $290,000 and expenses of $330,000. Now, the $330,000 may sound like, boy, that's a lot compared to $259,000. I took a look at it, did the calculation. It's 2.4%. Inflation's 2.33%. So it's not a vacation home for Reverend Mitra and Greg. It wasn't board vacations to the Bahamas. It's paying for copier paper. It's paying for all the little things, Duke Energy, all the little things that creep up 2.4% every year. We're going to have some difficult things to deal with. Regardless of how it works out, we will be a vibrant community. We will continue to do outreach work, but we need to figure out how we're going to do that. We need to rethink better ways to do it, how we utilize our resources. What I would say is, and I have really two asks. The first ask is if you can give. If you're in a position to give more, please do. What I would ask of everybody, though, is to fill out the pledge card. These discussions are best done from a standpoint of knowledge, not ignorance. The worst thing that we could do is say, oh, we've got a $40,000 deficit, make corrections, and then find out, oh, it was really, people gave, but so it was really only 30 or 20,000. We want to make sure that what we're working with is an accurate number. So if you have a pledge card and haven't filled it out, please do. Even if you can't give, even if it's nothing, it's okay. It'll help us understand what we're working with as far as the deficit. I thank you for your time and wish you a great week.
All right, so I was off in Transylvania running around the countryside, spending time with colleagues, and I checking my email, and I get this note that says that we have a $40,000 deficit. And I think, well, you can imagine, like the sound effect is like, ah, right? Like, and my colleagues are like, oh, that's terrible. And everybody's like, oh, that's terrible. Like, oh, that's terrible. Okay. So then, like the day later, or a few days later, I get the note with like the fuller explanation. And guys, they buried the lead. Mike, you buried the lead, right? Because like the same economic forces that are affecting the church are affecting everybody. We are all putting gas in our tanks and going, we're all under immense financial pressure. But here's the thing. At St. John's, what we value is the community. At St. John's, what we treasure is our time together and our ability to be together no matter how much money you have. It truly, honestly, hand to God, does not matter. So the lead is we have more pledge units, we have more people, and they're not giving huge amounts of money, but come on, look at this year. This is not a year where we're expecting giant, giant sums, although if you feel inclined, feel free. But if there's a canary in the coal mine, this pledge season is telling me that we are people who will stick together even when times are tough, that we can be together and figure it out, that we will look at the hard things and find a way forward together. And that's exciting to me. Also, being with Transylvania colleagues, when I read this note out loud, they went, oh, your church is growing? Who are you people? So take some pride in that. Take a lot of pride in that. And keep on taking care of each other. One of the ways we care for each other in this place is by sharing our joys and sorrows. We do that symbolically. Uh-oh, I forgot something. We do that symbolically by coming forward at a time of joys and sorrows and placing stones in a dish of sand, each stone representing a joy or sorrow in our heart and mind. This is a tradition known to some of our people in Transylvania, and Vera Kellerman, the treasurer at St. Laszlo, sent us a rock for our bowl for joys and sorrows. So, you can say what you want about like the budget deficit. There is nothing richer than a church that receives a rock from halfway around the world because we are loved and known there. So I'm going to start by placing this rock in the dish of sand. And while Peng Chang plays, I invite you to come forward and choose a stone and place it in the dish of sand that we can make community together and reaffirm our promise to care for one another, no matter what. No matter what. It is good to be together. you join me in an attitude of prayer? Holy One of blessing, we know you by many names. We call you the light of inner conscience, and we call you the God beyond. We see you in each other's faces. We see you in the red bud. We sense you in the wind that moves and in the breath that we breathe. We name your presence in us and among us at this holy hour. We humbly acknowledge the pain and the hurt and the struggle of the world that accompanies us, that is waiting for us, that we deal with and move through every day. We are grateful for the strength we have. We are grateful for the strength we lend. We are grateful for the strength we borrow from others when we need it most. We pray that we maintain a community of heart, where joys are shared, where sorrows are lightened, where we are a people together, magnificent in our individuality, and yet more so, more magnificent when we come together and create a community, a beloved community. May your blessings fall upon all who gather here today, all who gather beyond these walls. And may we carry the spirit of life and love as we leave this place, as we move together, as we live into the promise of the church that blesses the world. So may it be. So Peng Cheng, what were you doing Thursday night?
I had my PM recital at this church.
Yes. He had his doctoral recital for musical performance at this church. And everything I said about being a community that supports each other, lots of us came out and supported him. When the plane landed in northern Kentucky, I said to Edie, how much time before Peng Cheng's thing starts? And she said 3 minutes. We gave it a go, but it didn't happen. We are very, very, very grateful that you are with us.
Thank you.
We are also grateful. Is Jean Nightingale here today? Is she outside? She's outside. Jean Nightingale won an award this week for her advocacy for the earth and for environmental causes. So please, good point. I think we should also be thankful for Dirk's ability to play charades. Jean Nightingale won an award for her environmental advocacy this week. So we are thankful to her, and we celebrate with her. And our hearts go out to Mary Lynn Schuster and her family. Many of you know George from when he sang in the choir, a wonderful, bright, caring man, and he has moved into hospice this week, and he's got lots of family around him, but we are mindful of her. Though the world can be a difficult place, we will stand with each other. We will stand for each other and see each other through. It is time to take an offering to sustain the work of this place. I invite you to give. Okay, I've been gone 2 weeks. The first 3 weeks when we have church offering, we share the plate with our Split the Plate partner, but I don't know what week of the month we're in anymore. So if you would like your donation to go to our Split the Plate partner, please put it in an envelope and make it clear, or otherwise that you want it to go to the Split the Plate partner, or that you want it to go entirely to the church. So we will do that. And thank you, Peng Cheng, for playing. Thank you, Peng Chang, and thank you to everyone who helped with this church. For those of you who may not know the history of Unitarian Universalism, the current form of our faith is formed of two lines, the Unitarian and the Universalist. The Unitarian goes back to 1568 in a little town of Torda in the Transylvanian region of what is now Romania. They had a debate, an open debate there, 1568. Because the new king was not Catholic, was Unitarian, and as the new king or the new sovereign in that land, he had the option of making people be Unitarian. You shall be Unitarian. So, they had this debate about the nature of faith, the purpose of freedom, and the power of the divine to move among us. And they came away from it saying that people should have the freedom to pursue faith after their own conscience. That is freedom of the pew, which means that, like, none of you are here by coercion, right? Like, except my son. I saw him, yes. And it also means that the minister cannot be censored in what they say. That the minister has to have the power to speak freely and authentically for it to be a place where the Spirit truly moves and lives. If you constrain in the minister for political reasons, you've got something different going on. So the takeaway from the Edict of Torda was that people should be free to worship after their own conscience, and that freedom should be extended to everybody, not just the Unitarians, but the Unitarians and the Calvinists and the Catholics. That kind of was like the whole world as they knew it. They didn't really address the Hindus, not really at the table. So it's not perfect, but it's profoundly important that we are from a people who, when we find ourselves in possession of power, when we find that we are the people who have power, our first act is to empower others to go out and explore their faith and be in relation with their God. I tell you this because I suspect that this is the real reason that I love being in Transylvania so much, that something about that roots in my soul, and I'm like, yes, this is the people I want to be a part of. But it's more than that, because there's something about the landscape. I have said that in Transylvania, the sky is exactly the right distance from the land. There's one or two scientific thinkers out there that are thinking that makes no sense. That would like to say, Reverend Mitra, the sky is always the same. Yes, it's a poetic, go with me. So when I was there, I sent notes back. So we had plans, we were gonna go to the Delta, we were gonna do all this other stuff. It didn't happen. I was staying with a colleague and a friend, and he had a dog who had 2-week-old puppies, and she died. She got sick and died within 24 hours. And that meant that we had 2-week-old puppies that had to be cared for. And when you have new life like that, everything stops. You defer to the new life, right? So then it was like you take care of the puppies, you clean the puppies, you sit down for a minute, you take care of the puppies, you sit down. Y'all know, you know what I mean. This applies to human puppies as well. So that became most of my time there. But there were some really good things that happened. This is Vera, who sent us the rock because she knows. And this is Silamer, our brand new minister of our partner church. If you're looking at him thinking he's young, it's because he's 33. Just saying. Yes. We didn't get to do a lot, we didn't get to travel, and that's okay because it was appropriate that we were doing what we were doing. But we did get out and walk the ridge over the town of Neomat, which is next door to St. Laszlo. I'm not sure if you can see that. Can you guys see that with the light? All right, you're just gonna have to trust me. It was really pretty. It was really, really pretty because you get up out of the village and you're on the ridge, and spring was just coming, right? So we had Easter celebrations, we have that in the flow of the religious year, and then we're up there and things are blooming, and there was a fox den where we could see the little footprints of the foxes, and we could see the ins and outs of all these places. And there was one point where Bela was saying, it's warm up here. Finally, the earth is warming. Finally, the earth is warming. And he bent down and he picked up a handful of moss and dirt, and he smelled it, and he held it out. He said, smell. And I, breathe in that warmth of spring, that warmth that embraces us and is everything. Can we go on to the next slide? So can you see how, If you could see this slide, you would know what I mean when I say that we are exactly the right distance between the earth and sky, and how beautiful and pristine everything is. And let's move on to the next one. So here is Silamer and Bela out walking. Do you see anything else there? It's a little bit washed out. But if you could see the picture, what you would see is trash. A ton of trash just scattered up the hillside. So I know things about myself as a person. I fully understand that when I go out to Transylvania, that there is this leftover ruin of communism, that there is this quality of poverty that really imbues some of the areas we move through. I know that there is trash on the ground, and somehow or other in my memory and in my vision, what I see and what I experience is always the beauty of the place, for the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. This is the hymn we sing. This is what lives in me. So I go out there and I look on this world and all I see is the beauty. Because the truth is, the beauty is there. There is all this trash, there's all this litter, there's all this plastic, that what is supposed to come of it? And the beauty is there. There is all the things that go along with humanity, little bits of prejudice and discrimination, maybe little grudges held, maybe little animosities, and the beauty is there. There is the struggle to get through your daily life. There is the guy that got pissed off at the church, and I was expecting to see him the first Sunday, and he wasn't there. So I went to his home and I said, I was so sad when you were not there on Sunday. So he came the next Sunday because the beauty is there. The beauty is always there. The goodness is always there. It's how we choose to see the world, how we choose to see, how we choose to be in this world. Do we respond with despair to the trashing of our planet? Or do we claim the beauty and let it live in us and inspire us that we do the cleanup work that needs doing? Do we say, well, our community is broken because of X, Y, Z? Because the community is always going to have problems. Or do we say, I went to church and I sat next to somebody and I shared a song with them and it was beautiful? Because that is true also. This is my colleague, and he's standing over the Oronos River because the water keeps flowing, and it is beautiful, and it is restorative. If we could go on to the next picture. This is a cherry tree that John and his wife Mary planted when they were there, and the parish house is empty now. No one lives in it, and the cherry tree is still there. And you know what? It's putting out flowers, and it's beautiful. And you can see our partner church in the background. Because life will find a way to continue. Life will find a way to draw us forward. Our choice as free individuals of faith is how do we choose to opt into this story of beauty and degradation? How do we choose to enter into this song? So, Claire, were you able to get the last picture in? Okay, let me tell you about why the puppies matter. Because I was there with Bela, and things were going fine, and then the mother dog started falling down, and she just was losing her strength. And within 24 hours after that, she had died. And I watched my friend go and dig her grave, and I watched him go to the willow trees and break the branches. That's exactly how I'm feeling. Break the branches and lay them to make a bed in the bottom of the grave. And I watched him lay his dog in this grave and cover her with more willow, the budding, beautiful willow. And you know, it is heartbreaking, and it is terrible, and it is sad, and it's not fair, and it's not reasonable, and there is no poetic that I want to wrestle from that loss. It is nature being cruel, and at the same time, there were 5 puppies who needed care. So when world is like hard and ugly, there are still those who need care. So you heat the milk and you figure it out and you keep going. So after I left, Bela sent me one more picture, which I will share with you at some point in time, of all the puppies, fat and round and strong and healthy, playing in the dandelions. They have little teeth. They're fluffy. One of them, inshallah, will go home with Edie's granddaughter and remain in our family, and it will be good. Because this is the way of the world. This is the earth that gives us life. We come from the earth, and the earth sustains us, and the earth will welcome us home when the time comes. And in the days that we are given in between, our task is to love one another, to seek and serve the good wherever we find it. And it might seem or feel naive for me to be telling you to go in the world and name what is good. I'm not saying don't see what is troublesome. I'm not saying don't respond to what is bad. But I'm saying it is holy work to go into the world and say there is beauty here. To look at your neighbor with whom you adamantly disagree and say, I see the beauty in you. There is beauty here. And it is good. And puppies are good, always. We have a choral anthem followed by a congregational hymn, number 1064. After that hymn, 1060.
There are 2 choral anthems that we skipped before the beginning of the year, but can we sing them both still?
Oh yeah, you can sing whatever you want. So I invite the choir up, and the people need to have their hymnals open.
That's right. So choir,
Okay.
put your hymnals up, because we'll just be singing all 3. And if everybody else in the congregation, please have your field hymnals to the 1064. We welcome.
Thank you, Rob. I want us to return for a moment to those words. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor nor port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. I want to name my sister and myself as exiles from lands. We are daughters of revolution because we cannot be in our homeland, because politics are the way they are. I want to name John Kachuba in his Ukrainian peaceful, friendly shirt as a child of Ukraine. And I know part of your heart is always there. And Sarah, I don't know if you are here or online, but I name you too. I want to name all of us who were born upon the fathoms. I want to name the Catholics among us who can't go back there. I want to name the Jews among us who are looking for a new home. I want to name those whose hearts are broken and are seeking solace. We were born upon the fathoms. And this might just be our boat home. Friends, this concludes this portion of our service. I am going to go outside with a bowl. If you brought earth to contribute to it, we will collect the earth and have a soil communion together. And there is an opportunity. Oh, there are puppies on the screen. Thank you, Claire. And there will be an opportunity to make seed bombs outside. Would you guys mind singing one more verse of Blue Boat Home as we exit the sanctuary? And I will see you outside.
Okay, Dirk, I'm trying it from about 6 inches away. Still feedback if it's loud. Hold on. Okay, now, Dirk, I have moved it back. The whole podium is back 3 or 4 inches. I can hear it a little. There's still feedback. Are you putting it at a volume at which you need to hear it? Yeah, are you hearing it too loudly or just right? Wow. I hear it, there's a little feedback up here if I raise my voice though. So maybe it's not that. I'm a little bit further this way. And, wow, maybe? That's it. I think that's it. Ooh. If I get loud, I hear feedback again. Rob, I need you. We finally figured out that maybe the mic shouldn't face the